got out, walked up, shot Stephen. Sorry, Roy. And then the car drove up, came very close here, and then shot Nick. They'd walked back to the car here. As you know, they'd all hopped into the car and Stephen was just taking one last photograph.
You know, you just have that feeling, but it was very final, very shocking with the violence of it all. Oh, well, you just didn't like to think that he may have suffered or known what was coming.
How could you do such a thing to just to go up behind somebody and shoot them?
It does bring up that anger that the killer, you know, I would think that the killer should be sitting in a jail.
One explanation for why so many such murders may have gone unpunished comes from the shadowy world of espionage. This man, who goes by the name Kevin Fulton, was a secret British agent inside the IRA. He admits he committed terrible crimes as a supposed IRA terrorist, all the while reporting them to his British handler.
Hey, you Ross?
A man who is now at the highest echelon of MI5.
I made bombs in the Irish Republic within full knowledge of my handlers. I would go out with IRA operations with other IRA men.
Would it have been known to British intelligence that there was an IRA hit team in Europe?
It would have been, I'm sure, positive they would have known there was an IRA hit team in Europe.
Fulton knew well some of the terrorists involved in the murder of Stephen Melrose and Nick Spanos. What sort of person was Gerard Hart?
No doubt, he's well capable of killing.
But it's what Fulton can now reveal about this man, Desmond Grew, that is especially interesting. Grew helped plot the IRA's European attacks, including Rawmond, and he visited the hit team shortly before the killings.
Grew had been sent out to the continent to them because they were actually doing nothing. They were pissing it up. As someone actually, as he had said, you would have thought they were on fucking holidays. So Grew actually went out, chastised them, and got the thing up and running again.
A British agent, you believe, knew that Desmond Grew was going to Europe?
Yes.
Is that something that you believe British intelligence would admit now?
No, they'd never admit it. You see, this is what your viewers, people have to understand. This is a covert war. This is Dirty Joe actions everywhere.
But if they knew that there was an IRA hit team in Europe, why didn't they just go and arrest them and stop them?
Well, see, sometimes to protect an agent, you've got to you call it a fire break. You let things happen.
So the protection of a source was more important than the protection of innocent civilians?
Sometimes.
Why didn't they do something? They're as responsible.
Because if the British did have somebody inside the IRA who were telling them about operations, and they did.
Could have been prevented, maybe.
But the blood on Desmond Grew's hands didn't stop Gerry Adams from giving the oration at his funeral less than a year later. Adams described the Rawmond mastermind as a decent, upstanding Irish citizen. Today, Gerry Adams has carved a role for himself as the very model of decency. A family man and an MP in the Northern Ireland Parliament. But 20 years ago, he was secretly on the terrorist front line. Did you have any role in ordering the operation that killed the two Australians?
None whatsoever.
You were on the IRA Army Council at the period, though, weren't you?
Well, first of all, I wasn't, but you shouldn't be coming here and, presuming to make assertions or allegations like that.
Why do so many of your former colleagues in the IRA say that you were a very senior IRA member?
Well, you'd have to ask them that.
What about Brendan Hughes, one of your closest mates?
Well, Brendan's dead now.
But the voice of Gerry Jerry Adams' closest IRA comrade is now speaking from the grave.
Could have stopped every bullet being fired.
Here in the vaults of Boston College are the secret tapes of IRA fighters not to be released until their deaths.
Out this war, Jerry was a major player in the war. Not just
Voices from the grave records the allegations of Brendan Hughes, who died 2 years ago.
I never carried out a major operation without the OK or the order from Jerry. And for him to sit in his plush office in Westminster or Stormont or whatever and deny it, I mean, it's like Hitler denying there was ever a Holocaust. I don't know where...
Jerry Adams has always denied being a member of the IRA. But on the tapes, his dead friend tells a very different story.
It's totally disgusting and a disgrace to all the people who have died.
If Brendan Hughes is telling the truth, then it means, doesn't it, that Jerry Adams had foreknowledge of major operations like Rawmont?
Yes, he would have known about it and would have authorised it and approved it. It was IRA military policy, and he was involved in making IRA military policy.
So he's just lying through his teeth when he denies a role?
Absolutely, yes. There's no other way that you can say it.
Let me tell you this. The IRA is off the stage for us. Now clearly, a lot of people have suffered, and I make the case again, particularly civilian and those who lost loved ones as a result of the conflict.
Stephen's family recently went to Belfast searching for answers. In smart suburbs, in good streets, in comfortable homes, surrounded by their own families, lived the terrorists who took the lives of 2 innocent Australians. Somewhere near where we are at the moment, Roy, there's the man who killed Stephen.
Is that right?
How do you feel towards that person?
Oh, just complete hatred.
There's a wall of silence. Do you think that you'd ever be able to forgive the people that killed Stephen?
Not at all. I think if I met Hart, I'd take his straight out.
Hello, Donna McGuire. Ross Coulthard, Australian TV. It's 20 years, Donna. 20 years. Do you have anything to say to that Australian family? Do you have anything to say to the family that you caused so much heartbreak to? Why can't you say something, Donna? Why not a simple sorry? Why not say sorry? If they truthfully and honestly opened up to you and said, Mr. Melrose, I know this won't bring your son back, but we are so sorry.
I wouldn't believe them.
You wouldn't believe them?
No way in the world. No.
Spare a thought for that family. 20 years ago, you helped to murder a young Australian. How do you feel about that? Did you never expect that your past would catch up with you? His name was Stephen Melrose, Donna.